everyone and welcome along. Today is Halloween, so we are going to paint a witch's cat using a really cool wet on wet technique that makes a beautiful fluffy cat appear on your page as if by magic. So grab your paints and let's get started. Right, I love this technique. I've seen a few people do it over the years and I know we love to paint cats and it's Halloween, so why not? So we're going to begin just with a little bit of drawing, bit of a sort of potato shape, and then another just a shoulder, and we're going to have a tail, and then we're going to have the head with our ears. A funny little muzzle thing there, but basically what I'm looking for the eyes, because that's what I want to draw in just a little bit of masking fluid. The rest doesn't really matter at this point because it's going to be really fuzzy, but I've just poured a tiny drop of masking fluid into my palette, and I'm going to just paint on the eyes in masking fluid because I've thought about how I want to interpret this tutorial, and I think for me the eyes are all important with this, so we want to really preserve them whilst we do all the wet on wet painting. So we're going to let that dry 100% and then we're going to flood the page with a wash. We're going to make the page all wet, so make sure you've got some kind of mop brush or a large pointed round, and then yeah, we'll commence the magic. So the masking fluid's dry. Here I come with the mop brush to wet the page. Now it's really important that the page is evenly wet and that there's no puddles on it. So I'm just almost sort of mopping up some of the water with the mop brush and making sure it looks really even. So I've got Mars Black here, which is what we're going to be beginning with. So what I need to make sure is that my Mars Black is quite nice and liquidy on the palette, that there's not any kind of cloggy, blocky, thick bits in here. It needs to go onto the page with a nice flow. So should we start? We'll start with the body and just see how far it's traveling. So you can see that was one single dab. It's traveling quite far. So the key is to be careful with how far you want it to travel, but that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, and you can see this amazing fluffiness that appears. And the other thing that's very good to see is it's traveling quite evenly out. It's not sort of sending itself one way or another, and that's because we've got a very even amount of water on the page and there are no puddles really traveling anywhere. So now I'm going to get our sort of shoulder. It's funny, in doing it, it's so tempting to just sort of add a little bit more here or there, but actually it's really important not to. And then I'm going to travel this way and end there because I'll end up with a little sort of almost fluffy dab, a blob on the end of the brush, you see, and I quite like the idea of that. So this is going well, it's looking good, and now I need to do the face. I've left that one the last because I want it to sort of maybe travel as little as possible. But look at those eyes. They look a bit bonkers at the moment. But yeah, this is fantastic. Really pleased with it. Maybe just bring that down a little. So we now need to let this dry a bit. But the thing that happens with Mars Black in particularly is it sort of dries and it lightens, it loses its intensity a little bit, and we want this sort of Halloween witch's cat. So what I'm going to do, so I'm adding some Payne's grey to the black, and what I'm going to do now is just add a little bit of extra intensity with that. And I don't need to do much. I might just sort of carry that on down the tail a little bit and just sort of travel it into the bottom there. And a little bit sort of around the face and the eye. But now I just want to allow that to dry sort of on its own, and then we will put in the ears and a little bit of facial detail once it's dried. Right, so that's dried, so it's time to get the pencil off. Sometimes when, not the pencil, the masking fluid, sometimes it's easier to use a little eraser to get it. Oh, look at those eyes, amazing. So I'm going to use a bit of green gold and cadmium yellow mixed to just sort of paint those in to start off with. And now I'm going to use some of this black to first put in our ears. And what we want to do is try and sort of fuzz them in. So by that I mean just sort of blend them in. And then to create a little sort of Y shape for the eyes, as well as that really helps. Oh, it's looking lovely. And then just a little mouth there, and then a few whiskers. And then I think we have to have some proper whiskers like that. And then we're just going to let those eyes dry and place in the pupils. So finally we need to get some really concentrated black. And do a little curved V. And there is our witch's cat. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that one. I want to say a massive thank you to our patrons for their support, because that support enables us to keep creating videos like these that everyone can enjoy. And if you enjoyed this one, then hit the like button and comment below to let me know how you got on with that one. And of course, if you never want to miss another video, then hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!